Go.
In this lesson, we are going to learn how to solve an equation in which we use the clearing decimal strategy. Instead of working with decimals and worrying about the decimal point, there is a strategy whereby you can multiply each side by a power of 10 to eliminate the decimal. So in this problem, on each side of the equation, you'll notice that we have a decimal that has one decimal place. To clear a decimal with one decimal place, we would multiply by the number 10. So 10 times 2w would be 20w. 10 times 0.4 moves that decimal point one place to the right. So instead of 0.4, it is now just 4. And because there's a subtraction sign there, we put a subtraction sign there. We also have to multiply this side by 10. And so when we multiply the 10 by the 1, we get 10. And when we multiply the 10 by the 1.8, again it's going to move that decimal point one place to the right, so it will become 18w. We have an addition sign there, so we put our addition sign here, and our equal sign there, and our equal sign there. Now we just have an equation that has the variables on each side. So we could start by subtracting 18w on this side and subtracting 18w on this side. What that does is that gives me a 2w minus 4 equals 10, and the plus 18w and the minus 18w get eliminated. I would then add 4 to both sides. And the minus 4 and the plus 4 again get eliminated, leaving me with 2w equals 14. And then my last step would be to divide by 2 on each side. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I get 1w equals 7. When you have decimals that have more than one decimal place, then you have to multiply by a higher power of 10. In looking at this problem, you'll notice that there are 3 decimal places in this number, only 2 in this one, and then 3 in this one. So we have to multiply by a power of 10 that will eliminate all the decimals. So the number that we would choose would be the number 1,000, because 1,000 will move the decimal point 3 places. So when I multiply 1,000 by 0.013, moving that decimal point 3 places to the right, it simply becomes the number 13. When I multiply the 1,000 by 0.02, again it's going to move it 3 places, but I only have 2 places. So that means I'm going to need to add a 0 as a placeholder. So this will actually become 20x. Again, a subtraction sign there would mean a subtraction sign there. And on the right-hand side, when I multiply by 1,000, it moves it 3 decimal places, and so that just becomes the number 53. I've eliminated all the decimals from the problem. I've made it a very simple problem to solve. I would start by subtracting 13 on each side. The 13s would be eliminated. I'll be left with a negative 20x. And 53 minus 13 would give me 40. And then my last step would be to divide by negative 20. And again, we want the 2 negatives to make a positive 1x. And our 40 divided by negative 20 would be negative